Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the bit of a late start here. Welcome to the Fall 2018 Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer Tournaments. This is actually a top 16 match. Got two runners that are already out of the round of 32. We have WillardJBradley versus Bonta here today, racing in Game 1 of their matchup. Looks like today we have an all-dungeon standard mode, swordless hard mode, with no other variation. I believe this is Willard's settings because he is the higher seed, or the higher performing seed anyway. And we're going to see how this race plays out. I am Slim Kirby, one of your commentators for this match. We'll be joined momentarily soon by Quizbowl, my co-com, kind of figuring out some things since we were kind of rushed into this particular broadcast. And yeah, currently going through standard mode right now. It looks like the weapon we got from Uncle is the bow, so pretty nice weapon. Can generally kill most enemies in this section in one shot, and we're given a decent number of arrows to go along with it as well to kind of farm on these enemies. Potentially find some bomb drops, which look like both Willard and Bonta were able to find, no problem. So let's go ahead and see what we can find in the sewers section. Okay, and the sewers just have a red rupee, so 20 rupees. Gonna need to farm up some rupees for the Kakariko checks and some of the other early Light World checks. If we need to get more bombs, having some additional rupees might be a good thing to have as well. As far as other items, I did notice we did get a Moon Pearl in the escape, so that'll be one part of our Dark World access. And now we are going to check out the back part of Escape here, behind the bombable wall. This is why you want to find a bomb in the Escape, just so you can check these chests. Unfortunately, just get the map, a heart piece, and the lamp. Lamp, not a bad find. We might need to use that to light some torches. Also, our runners will not have to worry about dark rooms in this seed either, so that's definitely going to be one thing off their mind as they're going through this seed. And both of our runners actually making it out of the escape portion in under 6 minutes, which is really nice. That's generally a time you want to actually get in no major glitches, the vanilla speedrun. Able to do it in rando and fine form. The bow definitely helps. Also probably helps they got those bomb drops. And speaking of bombs, they also get some more bombs at the very end, so they have some stuff for Kakariko. Did get a map check. I believe we saw a green pendant and Tower of Hera, and a crystal at Eastern Palace. I did not quite catch the Desert Palace check, though. And looks like Willard is grinding up some rupees for the Houlihan room. Gonna get some rupees to start with, so you can get some of those Light World locations taken care of. Bonta checking a tree pole, just a small magic. 20 rupees in the woods, and he's going to now jump down into the hole to see what's in the forest hideout. And it looks like Willard is heading over to the Eastern Palace area. Very interesting start. It's not a start you would normally think of just due to the pure volume of locations that are in Kakariko, but you know, if you can find the hammer or the power glove early, when you go to Kakariko, you could also kind of start working on your Dark World access. So that's kind of probably what Willard's thinking about right now. Find some arrows, a heart container, and a rupee, blue rupee, inside Sasrala's back closet. Nothing of super worth. Meanwhile, Bonta checking out Blind's hideout. Find some more rupees and ammunition. That's really about it. Let's see what's inside the back. Oh, more blue rupees. Okay, so after the Blind's hideout's been checked, Bonta going to head over to the other high-volume Kakariko check. We have the well. Once again, need a bomb for the back. Going to find the power glove. That's another piece of that Dark World access we'll need, folks. And a bottle with a bee in it. Meanwhile, Willard just finding a piece of heart in Eastern for the first item. Also find the hammer and Cane of Samaria and 300 rupees. Wow. So with that, Bonta actually has quite a number of options up for grabs. He can actually go to Dark World as soon as he's done with Kakariko if he really wants to. Also getting a 20 rupee from the bottle vendor. Also using the bee that he found to get an extra 100 rupees from the bottle vendor as Willard finds a blue boomerang inside the second chest in Eastern Palace. Bonta getting a piece of heart inside the chicken hut. And yeah, it was a gold bee that he released on the bottle vendor. If you release a gold bee, he'll give you 100 rupees. Good way to farm some extra rupees if you need them. Checking the sick kid, got a red rupee on him, and there's the big key of Eastern. Gonna also see what is inside the hint in Eastern Palace. A piece of heart is in the Palace of Darkness. And we got a mushroom inside the tavern. And in the big chest, we have the compass. And with that lamp, what Willard's about to do is no longer a sequence break, so he's going to see what's in the big key chest of Eastern Palace. Bonta seeing another blue rupee on top of the library. Not going to be concerned about that. And a piece of heart on the race game. So Bonta is done with his Kakariko checks. He is going to be moving on somewhere else, more than likely the South Shore, so we'll see what he can find down there, as Willard is wrapping up his Eastern checks now. Unfortunately, not really getting paid off with anything. The only unique item to speak of is that boomerang, that blue boomerang, but not going to really help him in the progression department anyway. But one thing he is going to do is that since he has the bow, he has the lamp, he's going to be going straight for the back of Eastern, because we can actually complete this. And it is a crystal dungeon, so we may as well. Also taking a moment to go through the rupee room of Eastern Palace, get some extra rupees for upcoming funds he may use. And also Bonta finding another bottle at the dam outside. And now Bonta going to be heading over to Mini Moldorm Cave. And joining me, we have Quizbull. Quizbull, how are you doing?
Hey, great. Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
No problem at all.
It looks like I've missed a bunch.
Yeah, I've definitely found some really good items. Bonta already having his Dark World access, got the rest of what he needed in Kakariko. Willard kind of putting off Kakariko for now to check out Eastern Palace since he could complete it.
So was the bow on Uncle?
Yes, that is correct. And yeah, with that, Willard already has his first crystal down, only 12 minutes into the run. So very, very nicely done. And Bonta checking out more of the South Shore. Looks like he picked up the Ether Medallion inside Mini Moldorm Cave.
Like this use of the red cane here.
Yeah, might as well. If you have the magic to burn and you don't want to really worry about using your ammo or getting too close with that hammer hitbox, Canna Samaria definitely a good tool for not just killing enemies, but also just kind of pushing them out of the way too. So definitely good item to find early.
Yeah, especially with those crabs doing 2 hearts each. Well, that was basically a one-hit KO scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So Willard was going to be retracing Bonta's steps here, looks like, in Kakariko.
Yes, I'm going to be grabbing a lot of items, going to be getting Canna Samaria, getting the rest of his Dark World access. So yeah, a lot of items to be found here in Kakariko, and he could have the opportunity to maybe take a step right into Dark World right after he grabs those items.
Now that was a really fast map check. I saw a pendant on Pod, but I didn't see where the last one was.
Yeah, I believe the pendant and pot is the only thing I was able to notice as well. Looks like Turtle Rock is another red crystal.
I'm seeing in chat Swamp Palace for the other pendant.
Okay, well that would be the rest of them.
And that is unfortunate. Those are the 2 highest density item dungeon locations.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we did also pick up the Ice Rod inside of Hype Cave, so that is one item Bonta will not have to worry about later on. That's usually one of those items that can really just kind of throw you through a loop, especially in these long seeds like this. So good to get that out of the way now. And yeah, it looks like Bonta is heading straight for Palace of Darkness. Much like Eastern Palace for Willard, he does have what he needs to complete Palace of Darkness, and it is a high-density location, so it's good to get it done. This is also all dungeons, so in addition to all the crystal dungeons, all the pendant dungeons, and Aga Tower will need to be completed as well, so may as well check all the items that are in here, get this done, and if you happen to find the mirror, you can mirror at the end and go take on Eastern right afterwards.
Yes, I had forgotten this was an all dungeon seed, so I guess the fact that the pendants are here is not that big of a deal.
It is a little bit of a relief in some way, because when you do have pendant dungeons, the items that may be required to beat those dungeons could end up being in Ganon's Tower. So it's honestly kind of better to get all of the requirements done for those dungeons beforehand, just so you're not looking for too much in Ganon's Tower, or God forbid, even after Ganon's Tower, still looking for those last items you need.
Looks like Willard's setting up a powder glitch here.
Yeah, that's right. He does have the mushroom. He does have Samaria, so he can pull this off. It is a sequence break, so he won't get anything that will progress the logic in its current form, but if Powder ends up being in a really nasty place, this could save him a lot of time.
Did that clue just say the boots are in the dark?
I believe that is what it said, yes, and I believe we have a dark room in this particular dungeon, so that could be really good news for Bonta. He'll have his boots very soon.
Trying to think what other dark rooms are there.
I believe it's just Palace of Darkness and the sewers in Hyrule Castle, and since this is standard mode, we've already gotten the castle already checked, so I think it's just Pod in this case. And there's that piece of heart that we got the hint from Eastern about, so that's here. Could be another one as well.
Looks like Willard is just doing a couple of checks here, and then he's getting ready to head to Dark World from Village of Outcast side.
Yeah, so right away we have a nice little divergence from both of our runners, so that will definitely be interesting to see how these two different routes kind of intermingle and just benefit in their own unique ways. Do get the flippers from the big chest in Palace of Darkness. There's the boots. And yeah, chat also correcting. That also means the old man also technically counts as a dark room, since you have to go through a dark room to get there. But we found them in Pod, so they are not going to be on the old man. Ooh. Unfortunately, Bonta taking a death. I don't think that's gonna really.
That might have been intentional. Did he get the harmless hellway beforehand?
He didn't. I don't think.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
He still needs a small key anyway. So.
See, because he did the bomb jump and then he came around. If he had only had the harmless hellway out of the way first, that could have been a really nice death warp.
Oh, actually, he doesn't have a small key, so he can't get into the harmless. Oh, he didn't get this chest, which is a key. Okay. Okay, so with that, I think Bonta's determined that due to the rest of the items that are left in here, the big key chest has to be a small key, because if he uses the key on the door leading to the big key chest, there'd be no way to get another small key for the end here, so using that knowledge to just go straight to the boss and not worry about that last item, he knows it's going to be on Helmasaur.
Okay, and I was trying to watch Willard's side as well. I think I saw 10 arrows in Skullwoods, but I don't know if we saw another item.
Looks like Willard is still checking, so I don't think we found that yet. Don't have the fire rod, and yeah, we don't have the fire rod yet, so we can't even complete this. So still looking, and I think that's gonna be it, unless he still has the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he's going.
Yeah. So then, if with the other one being the 10 arrows, he doesn't have to worry about any more items being in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we're gonna see the bumper cave here. Just 5 rupees.
And Bonta getting ready for the Helmasaur fight. Looks like he has plenty of arrows to use on the second phase, so shouldn't have to worry about using the hammer hitbox to land the final hits.
Yes, definitely that up hitbox is pretty tough. Down to 1 heart.
Oh, okay, gonna use his red potion. And does get him down. Unfortunately, that was just the map on Helmasaur, but still, all the items have been cleared out of Pod now, and without a mirror, Bonta is going to have to go somewhere else. Meanwhile, Willard's still checking out Village of Outcasts, not finding anything of substantial note right now, but he may be heading into Thieves' Town soon. Yep, that looks like where he is going next.
Yeah, he opened the door, but then went and checked that cellar. Some nice blue mail there in the front part of Thieves' Town.
Yeah, that is definitely nice to find. I definitely expect both of our runners to be able to get through blind with no issues, but still, because this is hard mode, and because this is swordless, blind could end up being a real challenge, so getting some extra defense is not a bad thing at all. Meanwhile, the hobo just giving off 5 rupees, so nothing there, but I think I foresee a Zora check coming up next from Bonta.
Yeah, it looks like it's been a pretty rich seed so far. Both of our runners with over 700 rupees.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so next we're going to check out the Waterfall Fairy Cave. 2 chests in here, and looks like we got a red rupee and some bombs. So nothing of substantial worth there.
Now he's got an empty bottle. I'm wondering if he was thinking about throwing a bottle in there and getting a free refill of something.
That would have been something nice to do, just to get some extra safeties, because again, we are dealing with hard swordless, and just some really nasty things can come off guard and just take some hits when you don't want them.
Just a little piece of love.
And the hint in Thieves' Town, some cash near Misery Mire. That's not going to be a super valuable hint right now. So with his boots, Bonta checking out the bonk rocks near Sanctuary, just finding a green rupee though.
Without the Titan's mitts, he's going to have to save the King's Tomb for another trip sometime.
And I believe this is the first time we're taking a look at the Lumberjack Cave. So let's see if there's anything waiting for us if we have to do Aga early. Just a blue rupee. So we still have to do Aghanim at some point. Our runners are probably going to be hoping for the possibility of doing that after they've completed Ganon's Tower, because it's just a quick mirror from the top of the pyramid. But, you never know. Sometimes these seeds will force you to get there a bit earlier than you would have rather done.
Well, with full Dark World access and the hammer already found, I don't think there's anything else that would actually force them to fight Iga 1 until they're ready.
That is true. That is very true.
So yeah, that strategy of doing it right before the final face-off with Ganon to get that free refill, that's definitely a good strategy.
Yeah, definitely in all dungeons.
Well, just 3 bombs on the old man today.
Meanwhile, Willard is approaching the blind fight. Really curious to see what strategies he's going to be using. Looks like he is going to be going with the hammer.
Very nicely done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he kept blind at the top of the room, was able to knock him down pretty quickly, so really, really good fight in his end. Meanwhile, Bonta did get the hint inside Spectacle Rock. It was just there's some cache in Paradox Cave, so again, nothing super substantial.
And it looks like Bonta's now going to be retracing Willard's steps.
Yeah, and I can foresee Willard kind of doing about the same thing for Bonta once he grabs the digging game prize, and probably old Stumpy's might go over to Hype Cave and then has a chance to go very quickly over to Pod, so could have the same options on the table that Bonta had a little bit ago.
Ooh, just 10 arrows at the digging game today.
Yep, Willard already preparing a few screens in advance, getting out his bombs, so he is going to be heading over to Hype Cave next.
You know, I love seeing all these little optimizations that our runners are doing here. Getting items ready a few screens in advance. That little bonk off of the nose of that tree trunk to just kind of move them a few pixels forward. You know, sign of some really high level play.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I love about watching just randomizer races and even just vanilla no major glitches speedruns of Link to the Past. This is a very, very old game. It's been around for a very long time, and people have been playing it for a really long time and speedrunning it for a very long time. So you see these little optimizations, whether it's just switching items, screens in advance, using hookshot to kind of get some slightly faster overworld movement and mobility. Just stuff like that is just what makes this game really fun to watch and very interesting to watch and see how much it's been optimized in a form of this nature. So it's definitely a really cool thing to see. Oh yeah, that's right. So Willard is actually not taking a look at any of the South Shore yet because he took such a different route through the Light World. So going to be checking out these locations. We'll pick up the Ether Medallion, which we still don't know if it's going to be required or not, but still always good to pick up just to have something that you know might be required.
And I wonder if Willard will pair this in with some fake flipper checks to check on the hobo and maybe make his way up to Zora.
Well, from what we know from what Bonta looked at, we know he's not going to be missing anything. The only item he wouldn't be able to get would be the Zora Ledge, and that's not going to be required. So it would be a good time to do fake flippers. He would essentially catch up with these checks, and we know he wouldn't be missing anything substantial anyway. But he could also save time by not making these checks too. But we'll see what he decides to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things that could nag on the back of your mind as you're going through the seed. Was there any sort of progression there, and I left it behind?
Yeah, for sure. And right now, I do see some talk has definitely been going on in chat about like where is going to be that next step of progression. And yeah, at this point, we're just kind of down to like 3 one-off locations. We still have to check the mushroom, what's on there. Catfish is still something. Pyramid, I don't think we've seen either. And there's actually Agina too. So there are some, unique little one-offs here and there that we can still check out. That's probably where our next progression is going to end up being.
Yeah, looking at the available items in the pool, it's probably going to be Titan's Mit's going to be the key to unlocking most of the seed.
Yeah, I can see Titan's Mitts. I can see potential for Mirror just to kind of open up some more overworld checks, and that would also give us some more Death Mountain stuff we can do too. So probably one of those two would be my guess.
No, I'm kind of actually hopeful that the mirror winds up in G Tower. And it sounds mean, but that actually saves you from having to dive Swamp Palace before it's time.
That is true. That is true. When you start seeing those, what those pendant dungeons are in an all dungeon seed, you start thinking, okay, well, this is what could be in Ganon's Tower. So, you definitely start to think about that stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely had seeds before where I was thinking, please don't be mirror, and then I get the mirror and it just opens up so many different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of those items you want to get, like either very early before you hit Dark World, just so you don't have to deal with, going back and treading old ground again, just to check out some more one-offs. You can also do the Eastern to pod, or the Pod to Eastern combo. You can do Catfish to Zora combo. It just makes everything so much more efficient when you have that mirror early. So it's either, get it early or get it for your last item. That's kind of where you want to see mirror. Okay, so it looks like Bonta going to be checking out Old Stumpy next, and from there, could potentially start seeing some new checks that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Willard's almost done with his Zora checks here, so we'll be seeing something new soon. Who will find it first?
Although, one thing that Bonta could do is he could see that he has 2 dungeons available, and yep, I think that's what he's thinking. So he's probably going to go for Eastern Palace next.
And I wonder if Willard will do the same with Pod.
It doesn't look like it from where he is right now. So, okay, I think he's going to head up.
Yeah, I think he's going to unlock. Yeah, get that respawn point, and then he'll probably do something else from there.
Mm-hmm. Looks like he's not checking the lumberjack tree because he doesn't have the boots yet. So because of that, he's going to be thinking, well, I'm not going to worry about lumberjack tree having anything until I know I can actually get what's in here, which is, you know, definitely a fair point.
Yeah, I think I've watched a few seeds of Willard specifically. I don't think he's a big fan of checking the lumberjack ledge.
Mm-hmm. It definitely makes sense. Like, again, you don't know if it's going to be, you don't have the boots, so you can't even get it, and you save a lot of time if you end up not needing what's there anyway, so it definitely makes sense to do it that way. So once Willard finishes this check, literally the main difference between our runners would be basically Willard checking both Eastern and Swamp Palace, and then Bonta checking Pod, and from there, there's got to be some sort of divergence going on.
I wonder what Willard's doing with this bomb jump. Oh, is he going to check Spike Cave?
That is something he could do. It's not in logic at this point, but again, if it pushes some other locations on the board, could end up paying off.
So look, he has the red potion. What else does he have?
Looks like you'll get through it just in the nick of time, so gonna find just a heart container.
It's unfortunate.
Okay, Willard actually pulling off a fake flipper right here, not one you traditionally see. Going to be using this to get over to the mushroom spot, so we're going to be turning in the mushroom to see what that'll give us.
Yeah, so Willard was the one that did the fake powder glitch. Did Bonta do that as well?
I do not think he did, actually.
It's also be a good chance for him to restock his potion that he just used. Oh!
Ooh!
That's gonna unlock a lot.
Yeah, those are those Titans mitts you talked about, so yeah, that is definitely a really, really good find on Willard's end. Although, now that I think about it, that really doesn't open anything for Willard right now, because he doesn't have the boots to get into Kingstone.
Right, and he doesn't have the flippers either to get to Ice Palace.
Yeah, and even if he could get to Ice Palace, he couldn't do anything in there anyway, because no
just read the hint.
bombos or fire up. Yeah, he could read the hint. So I guess Bonta skipped the big key chest, so that's why he's going back through here to see what's inside. Oh, actually, Mitz does open up something else. We can start working on the blacksmith chain too.
Yeah, but without mirror, I don't know if that's going to be high on their priority list. Kind of try and leave that till later if you don't have the mirror.
Yeah, but then you have those seeds where the mirror is on purple chest or even the blacksmith. So, but you are definitely right. It definitely does. It does play into their own decisions. So we'll put that lower on the priority list. Looks like Bonta will be getting his Titan's Mitts immediately, so he's going to have that find now too.
Stocking up on some potions as well. I wonder if he'll go straight to King's Tomb.
I think he is. I think he started at his own house, but I think he meant to go to Sanctuary. Yeah, he's checking King's Tomb.
There we go.
Okay, what does the king have for us today? Just 20 rupees, so...
Still on the hunt for some more value out of those mitts.
Yeah, and I can understand wanting to maybe focus on that a little bit because it is the most recent item you found, and even if it doesn't open a whole lot or open up some inconvenient locations, you know, it's still something you got to think of where it's like, I found this item in kind of a one-off location. If this is some kind of chain that leads to something bigger, then I should probably keep following this chain just in case. And, you know, if I happen to stumble on the solution, I can kind of route in all those other things along the way if they kind of come up. And if you're like in the area, so to speak. So it's definitely good to follow the chain when you find something. It's kind of just like trying to find what you consider to be the best move in a randomizer seed. Sometimes it may not be that obvious. Sometimes you may want to check those Sphere 1 or Sphere 2 locations more because you could have missed something very big earlier. So
yeah, and then you have to make all these decisions on the fly as well. It makes it especially difficult.
Yeah, and you have no idea what your opponent is thinking or what your opponent is doing, so you also got to rule that in as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised, you know, with racing this, how much the metagame comes into it.
Mm-hmm.
You start thinking about, hey, I just did this. Would my opponent have made this play at the same time, or would he have done it earlier, or something like that?
Or did my opponent also metagame me and do something else that to throw me off? There's a lot of things that go into it. One thing I do think the blacksmith chain would actually kind of give higher value to right now is, in addition to the blacksmith and purple chest, there's also the peg cave as well. We can check that. If we take the purple chest over to the thief in the desert, we're also close to Agina, which is another one-off that we've kind of isolated right now. So it would actually
close.
I know.
Those mini troll dorms.
Does get it on the second try, though.
Yes. And again, hovering, another one of those really advanced skills that I marvel at for all these runners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a lot of people, just whenever they see a hover, they think, oh, they're just mashing the button as fast as they can. No, it's actually way more difficult than that. There's a very specific rhythm that you have to use in order to get that technique to work. So it's definitely not easy to do.
Yeah, I've practiced it myself a few times, and I've been able to do it a little bit with save states, but I've never been able to do it real time in a race kind of situation. With that many stakes on the line, and you just don't want to fall to Moldorm 2 or whenever it is that you would try and pull that out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, it does look like Bonta is checking out the blacksmith chain. Going to be doing the hammer pegs first. And if you're wondering why he's not doing any hammer dashing, well, the funny thing about hammer dashing is you can only successfully do it if you have a sword. And since this is swordless, we're not going to be getting that sword, so we can't do the hammer dash here.
It's one of those unfortunate things about the mode. Maybe the devs can patch that sometime.
They have patched in a lot of really cool things for this randomizer, so that would not surprise me.
Well, speaking of patches, have you had a chance to play the festive randomizer?
I actually played 2 of them last night, and yeah, it's very, very fun. If anyone's interested, definitely go to the link to the past randomizer websites. If you click on the play festive mode, there's a neat little mode you can play that will basically turn Hyrule into a winter wonderland. Changes some of the mechanics up a little bit too. Basically removes the flippers because all the waters turn into ice. It's really, really cool. Definitely something you want to check out. And it's really cool to see the development that went into it, the sprite development, the little stories they've made for it. It's definitely really cool.
I just love how most of the enemies are now wearing Santa hats.
Mm-hmm.
Including the berries, where each one of those little tentacles has a tiny little Santa hat on the end.
I know, though. Those are awesome. Okay, it looks like Willard is checking out another one of those one-offs that we have not seen yet. Going to check out what's on the pyramid. And I imagine Bonta's going to get the purple chest. Just a rupee on the pyramid.
And it was just bombs on the blacksmith as well, so still no real progression on these one-offs.
But we're going to be seeing the rest of them, because, yeah, Willard's going straight to Catfish, and I imagine Bonta's going to be checking Agina right after purple chest. So, this will answer that question we have of where exactly does this game want us to go.
So I think now the item I'm hoping for is the hook shot, because then that'll start opening up Eastern Death Mountain.
Yeah, that would open up a lot over there in that area. So on Catfish, we have the book.
And just a heart piece on the purple chest.
That book right now only opens one thing for Willard, and he is going to be going to that one thing next, I imagine. That only opens up Desert Palace. We can't get to any of the tablets yet. So yeah, that's where he is going to be heading. Might check Agina along the way or in these area, and we get the mirror from Agina.
And that's been available the whole time. Now you think Willard will check the Agina's cave on his way over here?
He'll either check it on his way over here, or he'll check it after he's done with Desert, if he gets the items to finish it anyway. So wow, the final 2 locations we had both paying off in 2 different ways.
Now this could be an instance where the order matters. With Willard book in hand, once he does find his mirror, he'll go up to Death Mountain and he'll be able to check the tablet.
That is true.
And we just found out what is on Graveyard Ledge.
That's one of those low-key hints I don't mind finding, because, again, if you don't get the mirror early, that spot can just kind of be out there in the middle of nowhere for a very long time.
Yeah, I usually like to wrap that in as soon as I get to Dark World, and so getting mirror late is one of those awkward routing opportunities for me.
Mm-hmm. And looks like Willard is heading straight to the boss of Desert Palace.
Now, I saw the 50 rupees on the torch. Did we see the other item, or is that still unaccounted for in Desert Palace?
I think he's kind of gambling. I don't really want to say gambling. It's more so that he's seeing if the item will be on the boss, and that way he doesn't have to look at the other items in here.
Yeah, and then I guess if it isn't on the boss, then he goes back to check. He can take that right side exit straight to Agina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
In the meantime, we did find out that there's nothing significant in the Pyramid Ferry.
Not that that's too surprising, considering Turtle Rock is the other 5-6 crystals, and that has a lot of item requirements as it is.
Willard 5 out of 6 on those ice rod shots. Gets the last one with his last shot.
And Bonta picks up the green pendant. Willard gets another crystal. And looks like there is an item inside the other side of Hera Basement, so Bonta going to be taking a small little coffee break.
Oh, just missing it.
Okay, he got it now.
So it'll just have to be a slightly abbreviated coffee break.
And unfortunately, Willard, not having the small key, forgot to grab that before heading over here, so gonna need to go to the big chest to pick that up.
Just some more cash. I think the other item was a 50 rupee drop as well.
Yeah, I believe so. So yeah. Getting all those 50 rupee drops out of the pole. Meanwhile, Willard finding bombs, the other item in Desert Palace, and yep, he is going to go get his mirror as well. Meanwhile, Bonta checking out east side of Death Mountain. We have not seen this yet, and there are a couple different spots we can find some more items. We can also even go to the dark side and find some other stuff too.
Yeah, I think we did see a clue that said one of the items is going to be cash, but there's 6 others up for grabs.
Yeah, but first, gonna see what is inside Paradox Cave. Or Spiral Cave, sorry. More 50
Another
rupees.
50. How many of those are left?
I have no idea. Not many, I imagine.
So,
yeah, Bonta actually using his mirror pretty effectively here. Gonna very quickly check Paradox Cave, go back down, and then mirror to the Super Bunny side of Dark Death Mountain.
And here's where Willard is going to pull out his book and see what's on this tablet. Oh, just 5 rupees.
Okay, we have Quake Medallion here inside Paradox Cave.
Was that a lucky bomb placement, or did he really plan that bomb placement for that mini Moldorm?
With these runners, I have no idea. I would not be surprised if that was planned. Okay, so now we're going to be taking a look at Dark Death Mountain on Bonta's side. We have 2 chests here in Super Bunny Cave. We'll only be able to get 1 item in Hookshot Cave unless he happens to find the Hookshot here in these next 3 chests. And we'll also probably see what's the medallion requirements for Turtle Rock.
Now, we were watching Bonta hover a little bit earlier, so you think maybe he's brave enough to try and hover some of those gaps in the Hookshot Cave?
That is true. He could end up giving us a little bit of a hovering show again, so we'll see what he does. Oh, there's Bombos.
And that'll actually open up Ice Palace.
That's right, it does. And yep, he is going for it.
Oh, almost.
I think he is going to give it another shot, though. Okay, yeah, he's not going to go through it, which is understandable. You don't want to waste too much time on that, and you're also really low on health, too, so...
So he has the medallion to... Well, he has all the medallions, so he definitely can get into Turtle Rock, but... Looks like he is going to open it up and see what he can find, even without the fire rod.
Yeah, now if he opens the first chest and it's not a small key, he cannot do anything else in this dungeon right now, because you need at least the fire rod to get to the other 2 chests that would be available, and you need that small key to even get another chance at opening another chest. So we'll see if his journey gets cut short, or if he'll be able to make more progress. Not... Okay, no, there he goes. Ooh.
That's interesting.
Western side of Swamp has a unique item.
Now, have we seen the single arrow yet?
I do not remember seeing it myself. And we are continuing in Turtle Rock, at least for right now. And Bonta deciding not to progress further.
Now, I wonder if that's because of that one pokey that's in the second room after you unlock.
Oh, that's a good point. That might be the reason. He is going to give hovering another shot, though.
Yeah, I think he was just resigned to save and quit, and he figured he might as well go ahead and use his last couple of hearts to try a couple of hover attempts, and then just if it worked, it worked. If it didn't work, and he's saving and quitting anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's thinking about taking a look into Swamp Palace, perhaps.
Yeah, that looks to be the case. Doesn't have everything to complete it, but can get to that western side, see what that unique item is. Could even be the hook shot for all we know.
And it could also be a lot of items that really lead us nowhere. Could be things like, could be the magic powder, could be the bug catching net, could be the red boomerang.
Yeah. That's the thing. The unique item hints, they can point you to something, but if you kind of put all your... Okay, we'll get the big chest while we're in here, I presume. But yeah, you don't want to put too much faith into those unique item hints because there's a lot more than just required unique items. There's ones that may not necessarily be needed to complete the game at all. Stuff like Cane of Burna, or the powder, or the bug catching net. So you need to be careful, but you know, sometimes when you get a hint like that, you just kind of want to take the chance on it.
Now that particular hint that they got in Swamp Palace, it said that the Swamp Palace big key requires the hammer. So does that basically mean any chest that isn't the first chest?
I want to say it's any chest after the hammer requirements and before the hookshot requirement. So the chest south of the big chest, and I think it would also still count the western side of Swamp too.
Okay, so by that logic, the only place that the big key can be now is in that map room to the south.
Yes, I believe so. Unless it also does count others, but I'm pretty sure that locations like that don't refer to like two different things. Oh, okay, maybe not. Or
Yeah, well, technically all these...
Yeah, it could also be in the big chest.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's true. I almost wasn't thinking that.
Well, for Bonta's sake, I do hope it is the hook shot in this in the western wing here.
Yeah, hookshot or even fire rod, because fire rod would pretty much allow Turtle Rock and Skullwoods to be completed at that point. And who knows, hookshot could be in those dungeons further on.
Now Willard is going over to Ice Palace.
I do really like this play in Ice Palace because we did just get the Bombos medallion. We have the hammer so we can complete it. We have Samaria, which can also kind of play into the logic as well. I think this would be a good check for him right now. And we've had the access to get into Ice for a while now, so I think it's going to be a good check for him.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I believe you even called it that, yeah, red boomerang does count as a unique item, so that is not the answer here.
Well, it's just fortunate that he got that first, because if it was the shield upgrade, then he would have to go around again and do this all again in order to find that red boomerang.
Yeah, that is true.
Now, is there any logic to the order in which those hints are displayed? So I think it said a shield upgrade and a unique item. So does that...
No, I believe it's random still.
Just like everything else.
Yes. We also get a ped check Not in the traditional way, but we do find that some cache is blocked by 3 pendants.
So sorry to all those of you in chat that wanted something significant there. Nice Ice Palace bomb jump there by Willard.
Yeah, really, really nicely done.
I personally have a hard time doing that on any sprite that isn't the vanilla Link sprite.
Yeah, these runners are definitely dedicated. They'll definitely learn kind of the setups for their own individual sprites through Randomizer, so you can tell they've played a lot if they can do them that quickly and that flawlessly. To very quickly answer a question in chat about the little bombos medallion patterns you're seeing on the floor, that is something that is just included for swordless mode, because normally in a normal open seed or just standard mode in general, you'd need a sword to actually activate the bombos medallion. For swordless mode, because there is no sword, they've basically put those little medallions on the floor there, so you can actually use that medallion if you're standing on that square in rooms where you could potentially need that medallion to progress. So
we'll actually see that again here in a moment in Cold Snare's room.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, with that thing on the floor, we can now use the Bombos medallion and break his icy shell and start fighting him the hammer way, which can be pretty stressful if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, this is one fight that I personally practice a lot. I see Willard trying to stay along the top there, get those ice crystals to kind of fall along the top. That's one strategy to try and avoid those.
Gonna opt to use his potion. Do not blame him. He is down to 2. May as well finish this in the safest way possible.
Yeah, I think even on Blue Mail, these Cold Stare Eye Puffs do something like 3 hearts of damage.
Yes, I believe so, and Willard was down to 2.5, so one more hit would have killed him, so doing it just to be safe. Gets him down and gets that next crystal. Willard actually in a very good position right now. In terms of items, there's nothing that, aside from that red boomerang, that's, Willard has that Bonta doesn't.
I like the unique item is on your uncle in a standard seed.
Yeah. That's another aspect of the hints. Sometimes they have a habit of giving you old news, so to speak. So even if you've already gotten an item in like the first minute of the seed, it's still capable of being on a hint tablet somewhere.
That was a nice bomb jump set up there by Bonta there to get across that gap. I don't think Willard checked these chests over here on the right side.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. I'm curious if he got all 3 items or not.
I think I saw a red rupee and I saw a magic cape.
Mm-hmm. So if there is something in here, that could actually give Bonta a bit of an advantage. And, after kind of missing out on Book, which could be the potential access for Desert Palace, he could need that.
And then there's the big key. There could also be something in the big chest.
Yeah, looks like Willard's going to be doing the Smith chain stuff now, which is stuff Bonta's already done, and we know that will not lead to anything that he will need. But he has the mirror, so he can make this a little faster on himself. Oh, and that is true. Willard will be able to add Bombo's tablet afterwards, so that will give him an extra item that Bonta hasn't seen yet.
So Bonta showing us the last of the 3 major Ice Palace bomb jumps. Oh.
But that means that next item is still out there somewhere. I'm trying to... I guess Bombo's tablet might have to be the only location we have left right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what exactly we're looking for. We could either flute to get us to the mire area, the fire rod to get us into Skull Woods, or at least, well, no, we've already gotten all the items there. Have they turned in the pendant to Hasrala yet?
Oh, that is something we have not seen. Yeah, so we still have the turning green pendant too. We do know what's on Ether Tablet. Willard did check that, and it was nothing substantial. I think it was just a 5 rupee. Okay,
Watch
so
out.
let's. Oh yeah, Bonta, be very
he was
careful.
down. He was down. Yeah, he was down to 3 hearts, and he was running away. He was making for that potion.
Meanwhile, we're checking the Bombo's tablet. We have the fire
There
rod.
it is. But again, what does that really give us? That lets us finish Skull Woods.
It also lets us finish Turtle Rock.
Ah, that's it.
So in order for Bonta to get that fire rod, because he's actually not quite up to that sphere yet, he needs to actually go get the book from Catfish, which at this point he doesn't really have a whole lot of locations left, so it's probably going to be his next step anyway. But still, Willard will get a bit of a head start working on this. Bonta still has to finish up Desert Palace too, so Willard, I'd say, is definitely in the lead at this point.
But it looks like he is going to turn in that green pendant. I wonder if it'll be something like the hook shot.
That would definitely throw another wrench into the works, and yeah, it would give Bonta something that Willard may not check for a while. But we'll see. No, just 300 rupees.
Just money. Unfortunately, you can't buy a hook shot in this game.
Mm-mm.
It looks like he's running to a portal so he can go do that catfish check.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably like the last location he has too. So yeah, it makes sense. And Bonta hasn't checked Pyramid either, so gonna check this along the way. So yeah, I believe at this point the only items we're looking for right now is we're looking for hookshot and we're looking for flutes. Now, another item we're probably going to want to find as well is the silver arrows. Although not necessarily required in swordless mode, you
they're
don't
required.
want to... Yeah, they're not required, but they're definitely required, if that makes sense.
Unless you're Andy, they're required.
Yeah.
And I think when Andy did it, I think he had a lamp with half magic to pull that off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I see that frustration bonk from Bonta. I think he knows he's about to get something.
Yeah.
This is interesting. The first thing Bonta decides to do with that book is to go check the Bombos tablet, which is really going to accelerate his game.
Yeah. I think at this point, though, with the book, like, again, he had the 2 tablets in Desert. This is on the way to Desert, so it would be, like, the highest volume of items, and... Yeah.
So I wonder if this will change his plans, then.
Oh, Nope, he's going to Desert.
Nope.
When you're in the area, it's a quick crystal dungeon. May as well just take care of it really quick. Okay, so we still haven't found anything in Turtle Walk just yet. We do know there's going to be, I believe it's a heart in Mimic Cave, so Willard probably... Oh. No, yeah, he's not going to check that.
I couldn't remember which one of our runners actually saw that hint.
I'm pretty sure they both did, because I think that was the first one inside Ice Palace.
Yeah, and I think Willard feels really good about hearts. I think 14 is the max, and you're already at 11, so you pretty much found most of the hearts you're...
Yeah, definitely. Like, even for just, like, normal mode or something, I usually kind of use the first row as my benchmark. Once I fill up that first row, I feel pretty confident going the rest of the way, so...
Yeah, there's something psychological about getting to that second row that just makes you feel so much better.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I always remember as a kid getting into that second row and being like, oh, wow, there's a whole nother row of hearts.
And it was really confusing playing Link's Awakening because the row is only 7 hearts rather than 10.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, looks like Willard's going to be setting up the safety door. Definitely understandable.
Yeah, with your only invulnerability option here being the cape, I don't blame him for not wanting to use that.
Plus, not to mention, we will be dealing with a hammer Trinex too.
And there it is.
There's the flutes.
Turtle Rock once again just showing how everything is always on Laser Bridge.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, with that, Willard has the rest of the items he needs to clear out crystal dungeons, because we have the fire rod for Skullwoods now. We can get to Mire, and we have all 3 medallions with Samaria, so the rest of the crystal dungeons can be completed. The only question is, where is that hook shot going to be? And of course, where are those silvers going to be?
And I guess both of those could potentially be in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I want to say with the logic of Ganon's Tower, you generally have to find the hook shot pretty immediately if it's going to be in there. But yeah, it definitely has a possibility of being in there. I'd guesstimate the silvers are more than likely going to be in GT.
Yeah, wasn't there a seed recently where it was actually hook shot in the pre-Moldorm 2 chest?
Yeah, I think there was. And that is just the scariest place for it to be.
Willard, nice clutching this Trinex fight out on 2 hearts.
Yeah, really nicely done on his behalf.
For a blue cane. Well, if he had not already done Spike Cave, that's where you would immediately start to think that that would be leading you towards.
Yeah, that's true. Cane of Burna having one of those interesting hard mode stipulations where in hard mode and just any normal room, Cane of Burna does not give you the invincibility, just a little shield that hurts enemies. But for the rooms that have spikes, it is programmed for the Cane of Burna to work with the invincibility in those rooms.
Now, I think that does actually extend also to the spiked room in Misery Mire.
Yeah, the Misery Mire and also the spiked room in Ice Palace too, I believe.
So that might be a good place to check for a hook shot after we activate this flute.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Willard's probably thinking about that right now. We know one of the chests in the Mire area is going to be rupees, but there is a second chest in Mire Shed, and there's also Checkerboard Cave. Yeah, Mire seems like a good place to go right now.
Oh, Willard is going to go back for that big chest check in Ice Palace.
Ooh.
Oh, no, maybe not. He's stocking up on some arrows.
Okay, and that definitely means he's going to Mire then.
Yes, if you haven't found the silvers by this point, you know you're going to be using a lot of arrows on Vitreous. So I definitely think that's a good play.
I mean, in hard mode, you're not going to be using silvers regardless, since the silvers only work in Ganon's room,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that little stipulation of hard mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just bombs in the other Mire Shed chest. So yeah, on the subject of hard mode, something else. I believe or not hard mode, but swordless mode rather in this case, there will be one hint somewhere in the world that gives the location of the silver arrows, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it just the Ganon hint that does that?
Yeah, I think it was just the after you get to the fourth phase again, and Ganon just
Oh,
tells
okay.
you.
Yeah, I know what I'm thinking of the big key in Ganon's tower hint for key sanity. That's what I'm thinking of. My bad. So yeah, it would just be the Ganon hint.
Yeah, lots of different modes floating out around here. I was actually curious about that big key hint that we got in Swamp Palace. It felt something out of Key Sanity.
Yeah. That's more so because you have item hints and then you also have location hints too. So that's kind of what that one was.
That was a nice Samaria block there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminiscent of some of the Ganon's Tower Samaria strats that you utilize.
And it's really cool to see that because yeah, you get the Cane of Samaria in this dungeon in the vanilla version, so it's kind of interesting how it works so well with like a room where you're supposed to like not have it yet. So it's definitely cool to see that kind of stuff.
I think that's just one of the great appeals of Randomizer in general, is having stuff that you're not supposed to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Have we gotten any hints about what is fire-locked here in Misery Mire yet?
I don't think so. We got the one about west side of Swamp. I don't think we got the one on west side of Mire, though.
I remember the last seed I called, that hint was located in Misery Mire, which of course meant you had to watch the cutscene before you got it.
But you could also save like 2 seconds of not opening the chest if it's nothing you need.
Yeah, I think our runner in that case went ahead and opened it anyway in frustration.
Mm. But
Well,
catching nets.
Yeah, well, it is kind of generally a use. Oh, there it is.
Ooh! Okay. Got a more interesting tool on the left side of that chest. That's our hook shot.
And that's gonna do it. That's gonna be our go mode. Is that right?
Well, the one question is silvers.
Yep, silver arrows. That's the one missing piece of the puzzle.
You know, it does open up that interesting metagame, though, of do you just rush the rest of the seed, see what Ganon has to say about that silver's location, then get it there? Or, you know, do you go through all of Swamp checking chests? Like, we know there's a unique item in there. Willard doesn't know what it is yet. So it definitely opens up some interesting decisions for him to make.
Now, here's an interesting thought. At what point in the Ganon fight does he laugh at you and say you haven't finished the game yet?
I think he says that instead of the silver cent, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's unfortunate. So I was thinking maybe you could drop in there and get the hint, even if you haven't finished Swamp yet, and save yourself some time.
Nah, I think yeah, I'm pretty sure he says that over the silver cent. Because yeah, he says you're a dingus at the very beginning, but then like later on in the fight, he says, "Do you have wax in your ears? I can't die," or something. So I think that replaces the silver cent.
So we get some bomb strats here on the vitreous eyeballs here. It's an interesting strat of staying up there on the far right side. I've never seen that before. I might have to try that.
I have not seen that either, but yeah, Willard gets Vitreous down. Bonta moving into the last phase of Trinex. You'll have him down shortly. And yeah, at this point, there's really just a dungeon's worth of difference between the two runners. A Misery Myers worth of a difference.
And so it looks like Willard is going to go ahead and clear out the Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I think he's following the hint that he got in regards to the unique item on the left side. Unfortunately, we'll be greeted by a red boomerang, but we'll also see what's further on in Swamp too if he continues to check chests. And those chests are actually fairly easy to route in without wasting too much time. So I imagine we're going to be seeing those as well.
Yeah, and hopefully one of those is those silver arrows.
Yeah. Bonta, not having done Spike Cave yet, is going to be using that newly gotten Cane of Burna to get through here. I believe it was just a container at the very end.
And now Bonta's going to go activate his flute and probably do the same thing over in Misery Mire.
Willard is actually out of bombs right now.
I don't think there's any other bombable walls in Swamp Palace.
I don't think there are either.
And there's one right there as well.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, Randomizer doesn't mess with things that are under skull pots, and the vanilla game usually puts a lot of bombs under skull pots next to places where you need a bomb. So, being kind to you that way.
Now, if you play Randomizer and do Pot Shuffle, then, you know, you can definitely find some interesting contents inside pots that you wouldn't expect. But that will not be used for this tournament, nor are we playing Randomizer anyway.
Now, Bonta going ahead and finishing up Skull Woods here. Now we know we've got both items out of Skull Woods, so the only thing that we're doing here is just finishing it up for the completion's sake.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be just an opportunity to kind of take a break and collect his thoughts while he thinks about what he wants to do next, progression-wise.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little time to think about what's exactly going on, what's your next move going to be. We're going to see some Hammer Mothula strats here.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it only takes 4 hits, but you got to make sure that none
Yeah.
of those hits actually wind up smacking him into the spikes. So I think I saw 5 hits, so that means only one of them got canceled.
And there's that unique item in Swamp Palace.
And then, of course, the fire shield now.
Yeah, Bonta going over to Misery Mire next. Gonna get his hook shot inside, and he'll be pretty much following Willard inside Swamp as well once he finishes this. Willard still has to go over to Skullwoods and take care of that before he even goes to Ganon's Tower. But yeah, it's at this point, really, both row runners just wanting to find those silver arrows because, as we said before, silver arrows, it's possible, but in the most impossible ways.
Yeah, I think it's something like you've got a 2 or 3 frame window to strike the hammer during that teleporting phase, and you've got to do that 12 times?
20,
No, 24.
24 times. Yeah. So just not something you want to put yourself through at all.
That murder dactyl was kind of giving Bonta some trouble there. Unfortunately, I think it's a little too far away for a bird toss.
Well, Willard found arrows, but not the silver ones he was looking for.
Yeah, we have one more chance on Argus himself. Then we're probably going to be starting to look through Ganon's tower.
Mm-hmm. And I did see someone in chat mention that we do have the chest and hookshot cave. So that could be a nice little check to make very quickly before you head over to Ganon's Tower. And I imagine both of our owners will probably make that decision.
Willard doing a good job here, trying to hook 2 puffs at once so that he can reduce the number of menus that he has to do.
Yeah, unfortunately in swordless mode you are kind of forced into menu boss, as it's traditionally called.
Yeah, I tend to like to just go ahead and do it one at a time. You kind of get into a rhythm.
Yeah. Especially if your menu happens to be kind of laid out in a way where you only have to press it 2 times.
Yeah, if you don't have bombos or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Willard, yeah. Willard putting Argus on ice, so to speak, and gets his red pendant. That's all 3 pendants. Now he just has to go to Skullwoods, get that crystal, and he'll be on his way to Ganon's Tower.
Meanwhile, Bonta is mere moments away from finding both his bug-catching net and his hookshot. We never got a chance to talk about the bug-catching net here in swordless mode. The bug-catching net is actually really helpful when it comes to deflecting Aghanim's energy balls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in this particular seed scenario, that's really the only help it is going to be. Because I believe in hard mode, it can't actually capture fairies.
Yes, that's right. It won't capture fairies, but it will capture all the bees you want.
And there is Bonta with his hookshot. I think he went ahead and took a death just so he get a nice little health refill there, which I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, but of all the dungeons to actually do a death orb for health back in, this is kind of one of the ones you don't want to do that in, just because of this opening room right here. You have to defeat all these enemies again.
Yeah, I kind of like to see it as more weighing your options. Would you rather take the death and do these rooms again, or do you want to enter Vitreous with like 3 hearts maximum?
Yes, definitely. I can see the appeal of the former.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the other thing now is the blue pegs are now up, so you don't have to use the cane up dash in that dark room.
Mm-hmm. Also very true. Okay, here is Willard on the Mothula fight. Let's see if he gets as good of a pattern as Bonta did. Hard to tell if those hits are getting in. Got one there for sure. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, not too bad. Bonta's was a little faster, but still also very nicely done.
Yeah, I think Willard's had just a bunch of spikes all come out in the middle all at once, and so it made it much harder to get the right kind of hits in.
Yeah. And with that, Willard is going to be on his way to Ganon's Tower, and since this is a speed gaming race, I'll go ahead and get this started.
That's right. Everyone gets a chance to call their shots.
So yeah, there are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower that could have the big key. We're guessing a number 1 through 22, which location that big key is going to be in. So if you want to get your numbers and your guesses in chat, go right ahead, and we'll see where that big key ends up being.
What's your guess today, Slim Kirby?
I always go with 8 myself.
Well, me, I'm a big fan of Hope Rooms, so I'm going to go ahead and say 2.
2 would also bring up another interesting, situation here. If it is in like those first 2 chests, and maybe you get a small key as well, do you make the gamble? Do I go upstairs, or do I root around the entire basement looking for silvers, which may or may not be there?
Yeah, that too was designed to be a something for the benefit of the runners, not to force a very difficult situation on them.
Mm-hmm. But in a mode like this, that's definitely the scenario that comes up.
And Bonta took an unfortunate death there to Vitreous there at the end. It looks like he's booting away to go get some potions.
Yeah, Vitreous can be really, really rough in swordless mode as it is. You toss in hard mode, not having the best mail upgrades, and lower hearts generally. It can be pretty rough. We do find the powder inside Hookshot Cave, and the single arrow.
Still not the arrow we're looking for.
No.
And I think Bonta's also doing what Willard did and is going to get some capacity upgrades. This will also fill up his arrows and bombs if he decides to get one of each.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to pass on the bombs, it looks like. Which surprises me because he was using the bomb strats on Vitreous for the first phase.
Oh, looks like he's actually going to Swamp first. Willard did check the Hope Room, right? And there's the big key. Okay, looks like I guess he didn't check the Hope Room, so I believe that was chest number 4. And yeah, it looks like Willard is rooting around more in the Ganon's Tower basement to look for those silvers, so he is going to be seeing if he can find them.
Oh no, the shovel.
He also did happen to find a 20 rupee, green 20, which, just a little fun fact, when you're playing swordless mode, that would actually be a location for one of your sword upgrades, if this weren't swordless.
I don't remember seeing any other of those green 20s throughout the seed. So unless there was one pretty early.
I don't think I've seen any of those either, honestly, so yeah, I've not seen a lot of those. This would have been probably close to being a swordless seed even without it being swordless mode.
So yeah, with that shovel in the pool, it is possible now that that Willard is going to have to leave Ganon's Tower and dig up his silver arrows. Bonta, having not done the fake powder glitch, when he finds that magic powder though over there in Hookshot Cave, I wonder if he'll be tempted to do the same thing.
Yeah, that could very well be a thing. Another sword location.
Alright, and we'll get to see here if he actually did check the Hope Room or not.
Yeah, he didn't check.
Alright.
And we get a bottle and a piece of heart. Will he check this room, tile room? Nope. Gonna go straight forward. Only check that if it will seem required.
Well, then of course there's also 3 chests upstairs as well, or 4 chests rather, you can check upstairs, including the final one that is called the validation chest. So now the question is, do you go upstairs? Another 20!
There were 3 swords in Ganon's Tower. So I did actually see in chat that there was another one early on, I guess, that we just didn't see. So, still though, 3 swords in Ganon's Tower.
Alright, wasn't there a previous version of the randomizer that was notorious for putting swords in Ganon's Tower?
Yeah, I definitely remember that being a thing, because that was kind of around the time when I started, and I wasn't really used to doing a lot of fighter swords, or, God forbid, even swordless scenarios, so that was definitely something that kind of made it a little hard for me to play Randomizer for a while.
So Willard is going to go ahead and make his way up the tower.
Not gonna check tile room. I mean, I don't blame him. It's a very, very slow check. But, you know, if Bonta does happen to make that check, that could very well change things pretty substantially. Given all Willard would have to do is just do the Ganon fight till he gets the Silver's Head, would know what's in GT and go back up there really quick. But, you know, I wouldn't say Bonta's really that far behind, all things considered. He's definitely behind, but not like an insurmountable comeback.
Yeah, all it takes is a couple of Ganon hugs or maybe an unfortunate fall, and Bonta can get right back into this.
Yeah, because hard swordless Ganon will definitely be challenging in its own right, so you definitely have to make sure your execution is on point for that fight, so definitely can't rule anything out.
Yeah, question in chat. Bonta unfortunately did take a death to Vidi on his first attempt, but is coming back here with some additional arrows and some more potions.
Does have to be careful right here, though.
Again, making that right side room strat that neither one of us had seen before. Are these guys hanging out on some forum that we need to be getting in on? Very nicely done.
And that's all of the main dungeons completed for Bonta. Going to be heading up the GT next.
So think about this scenario real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Bonta feels like he's really behind and he checks the tile room as one of his first checks in Silver Arrows.
It's definitely hard to believe because, you know, I just don't really see, you know, even in a scenario like this, I just don't see a lot of people making that tile room check first or early. But it would definitely make things very, very interesting for sure.
I think Willard has just made a new discovery at 1 hour and 55 minutes into the seed. The stun prize is a heart.
Ooh, that's really nice for this type of mode.
Yeah, but I gotta feel like Bonta is feeling way behind on this seed. You can see some of the... He's looking a little frustrated in his movement here.
Definitely. And when you look at the seed in general, you know, I can definitely understand feeling behind at this point. You know, all those unfortunate hover failed attempts and hookshot cave earlier, going to swamp early to find the red boomerang and not the progression you were hoping for, dying to vitreous, like a lot of things that just kind of accumulate, and you gotta feel very behind at that point. But he is still definitely hanging in there, though, for sure.
Yeah, it's not over until the dot done comes in the IRC.
Speaking of being done, we're almost done with our... there they are! Almost done with our Ganon's Tower checks, and finding them right before Moldorm 2, WillardJBradley is officially in go mode.
And the last chest having a red rupee as per the vanilla game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think it's time we see some swagnet strats here on Aghanim.
I think that was 2.
Yeah, I think that was 2. That was 0, though, unfortunately.
I think there should just be one more.
There he goes. Aghanim 2 is down. Now, this is the part we'd normally say it's time to take on Ganon, but this is all dungeons. We are not quite at that point. Willard has to mirror back in the light world and take on Aga 1 before he can actually fight Ganon.
Now, meanwhile, Bonta just found his big key, and it looks like he is going to do the same thing Willard did. He's going to start looking around.
Yeah, he would have saved a lot of time if he considered maybe skipping basement and gambling on the top floor, but, you know, that's just... We know that the silvers are there, he doesn't. He's just trying to be safe, and that is perfectly understandable.
Yeah, it comes down to kind of a mathematic thing. There's 16 other chests that he can check down here, or only 4 more up top, so odds are they're going to be down here rather than up top.
Yeah, exactly.
So at this point, it's all going to come down to just execution. The number of blue balls that Aghanim 1 is going to throw at Willard is going to be the same as it is for Bonta, because they made sure that that's going to be the case. So the only other thing that could happen now is just a mishap on Willard's side. So really, it is his race to lose.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. You know, as we were saying earlier, like, this is like a very execution-heavy part of the game, and, you know, an unfortunate death that you just can't quite recover from in time could set back a few minutes in some cases. So, you know, it's definitely not over. It's, again, just Willard's race to lose right now.
Well, the number is set, but we don't know what that number is yet. How many blue balls do you think we're going to get today?
I'm going to say 4.
I think I'll go with 3. Again with the bug net. You actually can use the hammer to reflect these, but it is significantly harder.
Yeah.
Well, that's 2 blue balls. So either this will be the third one, or it will be the final shot that'll take him down.
There we go.
So that's actually pretty kind to have two, because that saved him a cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, no matter what, you're always going to get one lightning bolt from Aghanim, no matter what. But if you keep getting additional blue balls, that could end up giving you a couple more lightnings. So it's always good to kind of get those in two phases, or one phase, rather. Yeah, WillardJBradley starting again in fight.
Already to phase 2.
Being very patient and very cautious with his strikes.
Yeah, again, using those hook shots for some vulnerability frames, a nice strategy, especially when you have to go into the menu to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now on to phase 3. Yes, we did.
We even got the torch glitch with the fire rod too.
Yeah, that's tight window to get that in there, especially with a silver arrow shot.
And you have a couple more right here too.
Nice double to finish it off.
Yeah, really, really nice Ganon fight for Willard there.
Alright, everyone get your GGs in the chat. WillardJBradley has finished.
Yes, and he has finished with an SRL time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 41 seconds. So yeah, with that, WillardJBradley will be taking Game 1 of this best of 3 series. Also looks like Bonta is stopping, and it looks like he is also giving in the dot forfeit as well. So he is going to be stopping here and just kind of save his energy, I guess, which is understandable.
Yeah, little does he know he's only a few short rooms away from those silver arrows, but I think that's probably one of the things frustrating right now.
Yeah, for sure. And not to mention, I believe it's like very, very late for him right now too, so, you know, may as well just kind of save your energy, not really worry about it too much, and just kind of get rested up for Game 2. Anyway, as of right now, there is no Game 2 on the schedule just yet for Willard and Bonta at this current point in time. But when it does happen, it'll be Bonta's settings. Higher seed picks Game 1, lower seed picks Game 2. And if both end up taking a game, then Game 3 will be tossed over to bot settings.
And this is a round of 16 match, so they do have quite some time to get it in.
Yeah, that's right. Technically, round of 32 is still going on, but they decided to have their match a little earlier, which is nothing wrong with that, since both were ready and both were willing. So good to kind of get these matches out of the way if you can manage it. Anyway, trying to get Willard in here so he can talk about this seed.
Yes, talk/vent, I suppose.
Yeah, really. Okay, there we have it. WillardJBradley, welcome, GG on your win. Go ahead and vent. I know you have a lot of things you want to say about this seed.
Hi, thanks. My gauntlet execution was terrible. I'm more mad about that over anything else. And silvers on the gauntlet is also terrible. But other than that, I was playing like I already lost for like the last 20 minutes of this game. So I was very surprised to see me done first. Apparently he took a death on Vidi. Was that like the main thing?
I'd say there were a couple things. Death on Vitreous definitely didn't help matters. Spent a couple of minutes trying to hover inside Hookshot Cave. That didn't really pan out at all. And also, after kind of checking Turtle Rock early for the hints, immediately went to Swamp Palace right afterwards. Got that red boomerang and couldn't complete it. So just kind of a culmination of those things just kind of put him a little bit behind. For a while, you two were actually you both were doing different things. You both had a different Light World start because you went to Eastern immediately. He went for Kakariko. And your different routes kind of led you to entering Dark World at different points as well. So, you were definitely diverging quite a bit, but at the same time, you weren't making any much further progress than the other.
Mm-hmm. I think
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think the key thing was you found the book first before finding the mirror, and Bonta found the mirror first before finding the book.
I'm assuming Bonta did blacksmiths before Bomba
Yes.
Okay, I was hoping for that. I was really hoping for that. Once I found that fire rod, I was like, please let this be helpful.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing, because I believe it was kind of at the same time he found mirror and you found book, but your find led you to the desert area anyway, where you're going to pick up mirror regardless, so that just kind of benefited you. So he kind of had book on the mind trying to find that at some point, or just some access in the desert, so that definitely helped you quite a bit as well.
It was one of those weird seeds where there was a lot of easily isolated locations, and without boots, I don't want to go do Pyramid Catfish. I don't want to go walk all the way down to Agnes Cave. I don't want to go without the mirror, do the whole blacksmith chain. I don't want to do those things. I don't want to go turn in the mushroom. That's slow. I have all these other more dense areas I can go check. And then when I finally did pod and saw the boots hint for pod, I was like, oh no, not now, not like this. Because I was somewhat worried that my opponent had put off Eastern and got to do Eastern right into pod or something.
He did do pod early and got those boots out of there pretty early, but again, I think the book all the way up there at Catfish being one of the ones, I think he last location that particular item.
Yeah, that's it's a tough spot to put off, and especially when there's something required there. I thought it was. I already felt behind with the mirror over in Aghanor's Cave, and then finally went up to Death Mountain. Got the Quake to get into T-Rock, but then immediately got Bamos. I was like, this is a special Bamos. Clearly, there's something in Ice Palace, and I got that fancy Ice Palace setup where I could possibly just go boom, 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 get the 3 items and get out of there. Because I had a seed like that recently. It might have also been in the tournament. And getting that small key from Cold Stare, I was like, this stinks. But I'm going to play off of it and just hope that there's nothing in here.
Yeah,
and,
so you did leave an item behind there, didn't you? You were I saw you thinking about that for a while, kind of hesitating right before going on to Cold Stare.
Mm-hmm. I was terrified. What was it?
Would you like a blue rupee?
Nice. I had a very similar thing happen. Actually, I think it was in one of my first round group stage races. I isolated the iced tea room because of a failed bomb jump, and that's where my silvers were in a swordless race. I somehow still won, but because of a catfish hook shot. But yeah, that was a scary one to leave behind. I've seen that end people's runs so often, and when I saw the hook shot in Meyer, I was like, okay, well, that was the one thing I thought was going to be an Ice Palace, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a kick out of the left side swamp hint and that stupid red boomerang.
Yeah, we saw that too, and we were listing off all the unique items that it could be that wasn't the hook shot, and I think red boomerang was one of the ones that we listed off, and it turned out to be that.
Yeah, I'm glad I went ahead and did Meyer first before heading over there, because after I got that hint, I was like, this could be hookshot, and then silver. It could be silvers, could be shovel, powder, all these things that I don't want, except for silvers. And then yeah, everything my routing in Meyer worked out really well because I got both items immediately. So these little tiny time saves helped me out a lot. And then I kind of just went into GT, full cleared the basement. And I was like, well, I lost. And just kind of gave up on my way up the gauntlet. I almost died to land molas. I just kind of played horribly, and because I was playing as if I'd already lost. And I quickly checked back and forth on the IRC and see no dot done. I'm like, okay, just get it together, man. Just finish the seed out. And that Aga 2 fight was terrible. I was like, just keep going. There's still no dot done. There's still a chance. And then I got into the Ganon fight, and I had IRC hidden, so I didn't know until I opened it back up when he was exploding. I was like, wow, I didn't deserve this.
Yeah, I saw you discovered the stun prize there on your way out of the gauntlet there.
That was great. That was a good find, because that was the first time I checked it, the entire seed, because of how late hookshot was, and that saved me right there. Though it did kind of slow down some of those rooms, but my gosh, it was nice to have.
And it wouldn't have slowed it down as much as a death going back to the beginning, so, take it where you can, I guess.
I was hoping I'd find at least one, assuming I'd full clear GT, I was hoping I'd find at least one blue potion or red potion. I did get a bottle, but it was empty, so not exactly what I wanted. I should have used the gold B going up the gauntlet, now that I think about it. But yeah, when it comes to swordless, go mode silvers is probably the worst, obviously. Especially when it's all dungeons and you feel like, you have a higher chance of finding silvers before getting into GT. And then they put it up on the gauntlet. Like, that's the worst place you could put it in GT. Next to maybe Tile Room. But I think Tile Room was forced to be a small key, maybe? I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. That could have been the case, I suppose.
Yeah, because I went to the right side and I still had that middle door open and I only had one small key. So I could have locked myself out of going right side, but logically it could force me to go upstairs to get a small key and then go back down, so that's probably not the case. Either way, I wasn't going to do Tile Room unless I had to.
Yeah, we were definitely wondering about that, because, just one of those things where it's like you're looking for those silvers, and if it's in that one annoying location that's so slow, that could have just changed the result entirely for all you know.
Yeah. Well, GG's to my opponent. I think we're doing inverted for game 2. I have no idea when that's going to be. Unfortunately, both of our schedules don't really work. because he's gone until after Christmas, and then I'm gone after Christmas till January because I'm going to be in Italy and then in Chicago. So if we do race, it's going to have to be like some sort of offline record a seed and throw and compare or whatever. So we'll see.
Okay, well, in that case, best of luck in that game too, and best of luck to Bonta as well. He seems to have gone offline on IRC and everywhere else, so I don't think he's going to be...
He went to bed.
Yeah, and which is understandable. It's late over there, so he's not going to be coming in for an interview. But yeah, best of luck to him. It'll be his settings, correct?
Yeah, I think he said he's going to just do... I think it's probably just going to be like inverted defeat Ganon, I think is what he said. And we already threw out our vetoes for Game 3. He vetoed swordless. Okay, obviously.
I wonder why.
Everybody vetoes swordless against me. I wonder why. I don't get it. I vetoed normal, so hopefully we get expert. That'd be fun.
Okay, well, in that case, yeah, best of luck to you, and have a good game too.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for commentating and for tracking, and everybody for watching on the only speed gaming channel that matters, Speed Gaming 5. Great to be here. See you guys.
See you, Willard. Okay, so I think that's going to do it on our end for this particular broadcast. Coming up on Speed Gaming 4 at 8:30, which is about an hour and a half from now, we have Thalane versus Pretty Wong. It's going to be a Ganon open randomized swords normal mode with no other variation. And that is their game too, so that could potentially end that series. And there's another game going on at 9:30 on Speed Gaming 3, Weighty Words versus Glan. So we do have some more rando tonight. And of course, we still have some rando over the weekend as well. So if you want to come back and watch some more, please do. We'd be happy to have you. Major shout out to both of our runners, WillardJBradley and Bonta, for putting on this amazing show. Game 2 is coming soon. It'll be on the schedule when it's ready. Thank you to our tracker for this race, Vince Easter, for keeping all those buttons pressed behind the scenes. And major thank you to my co-con for this race, Quizbowl. It's been an honor. It's been a great calling this race with you. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yep, same to you, Slim Kirby. Thank you very much for helping me out here. I know this has been only my second comm job, so I appreciate all your help.
No problem at all. It was good fun. So yeah, we'll see all you guys later. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.
Good night.